Hello, Screaming Eagles fans. This is Coach Sean Liotta, the coach of the fans, and I'm here today with Ray Austin, one of the co-founders of Franchise, and Pedro Arnau, who was the winner of the Battle of the Fans contest, and he's going to be bringing our candidate today direct fan questions for him to answer. Today we're pleased to be joined by Coach Ameer Ismail, and Coach Ismail, welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right, Coach, just so you get an idea of the setup of this interview process, you're going to have 10 questions we're going to give to you. Myself and Ray are going to ask you 4 total, and then Pedro is going to ask you about 6 questions directly from the fans, and you're going to have about 40 minutes to answer those, Coach. So just so you know the time frame, so you can kind of plan accordingly, because at that 40-minute mark, because these are live interviews, we have one scheduled in back of you. We must cut it at that point, okay?
Okay.
All right, Coach. My first question for you, and I hope you have that whiteboard, there with you. I would like to see, and I know you're a defensive guy, primarily by trade. So I'm gonna give you a softball here to probably, knock out of the park. The ball's at midfield, Coach. Okay, the 25-yard line, and you are facing a 2-by-2 empty formation. We're going to start with both outside receivers being stationary and both inside receivers coming out of high motion. Talk to me about how you defend that in a run-fit situation as well as pass defense.
Okay, great question. So to start, there's like multiple things you can do out of the 2-by-2. The only run plays you can run are quarterback draw, and you can actually do the high motion receiver into the box and run a dive, and then the last running play that you could do is a jet. So there's 2 ways of defending it. Number one, just a regular 2-by-2, depending on the quarterback. If he's a quarterback that's affected by pressure and gets his eyes off of his receivers very quickly and looks straight at the rush, that's someone that we like to blitz a lot. So we go a lot of man. And there's multiple ways of doing the man. You just go straight man. Everybody is locked up, one-on-one. Stationaries are outside. So everyone just, our jack and our front side corner, usually bigger body, stronger guys get the stationaries, and then our quicker footed, faster guys get the high motions. And we send our Mac straight down the middle, putting pressure on the quarterback, who's generally uncomfortable and wants to get rid of the ball quickly and throws off-target passes. That's one way. Another way to combat that, just to keep them guessing, if you get good quarterbacks that aren't affected with the pressure, who get some good depth, 2-by-2, then they're hot routing. If they read that middle linebacker blitzing, they hot route. So with that being said, what we would do in that situation is we would still send the MAC linebacker, and this is, and we'd have our ends come up the field 1-2 steps and then drop back right under those hot routes. And we've had a couple dropped picks, unfortunately.
Looks like we lost him, Coach.
We'll see if he pops back in. Let's hold on a minute and see if we get him to pop back in.
And make sure you explain to him to use the whiteboard.
Sorry, fans, we're in a little bit of a technical difficulty here. We're going to try to get Coach back on as quickly as we can. All of these interviews, by the way, as we talked about, are going to be carried along with the voting process on the SaltLakeScreamingEagles.com website. We encourage you to go there. There's a lot of interactive things for you. To check out, and this voting is just going to be one of the many things that ultimately you're going to be voting on, and you're ultimately going to be deciding, because this is your team. This is the fans' team. So this is just part of that process, and this is something really, in my involvement in this game of over a decade, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen even anything remotely close to a live coach's interview. So you're getting a behind-the-scenes look, the curtains being opened, to how this business works in a manner that's never been done, which I think is really great. And then ultimately, we're not the ones making the decisions, or I guess we get a vote if we really wanted to, get on there and vote. But you ultimately all are going to make the call on who this next coach is. So, certainly take this process serious. Review each of the candidates' information, and we look forward to y'all voting. We're going to see if we can get Coach back on here momentarily. I know he dropped off the call. He might be having some issues with his.
I think these are great examples of us as a group working together and just kind of, understanding, we're going to have these type of technical difficulties or, little hurdles or whatnot, but we're going to work through these things. So we're fully capable of making this thing work. So
now we're going to get it going. Now until he gets back in, I'm gonna put Pedro on the spot. Ray, I want to talk to Pedro a little bit, and let's kind of get the fan, from the Battle of the Fans winner. Tell us why indoor football, why franchise, what drew you, to this and got you so excited about being a part of it.
I think you just said it yourself, Coach. Project Franchise, it's the first time ever. It doesn't matter what sport, what kind of league you're in. There's never been someone that takes the entire control of a team, a franchise, of everything directly to the fans. And it doesn't matter whether you're a normal NFL guy, if you're at NCAA, if you're indoor football, if you like other sports, if you like baseball or basketball or soccer or whatever. There hasn't been ever someone that can give you the entire control. That's what drew me in for the first time, and that's why I think not only me, but the rest of the fans, we love franchise. It doesn't matter when we started voting even before we knew the team was going to play in Salt Lake City. So it's not like the usual team that you're going to be supporting your home team. Yeah, we are expecting to get a lot of people from Salt Lake City, but doesn't care. We're an internet-based. We're new technologies. It can be all around the world where people are going to be able to approach to franchise. That's the beauty of it. That's what drew me.
Tell them where you are.
Well, I'm from Mexico City, so greetings everybody. Franchise got fans all over the world, and believe me when I say all over the world, I've got some friends of mine that live in Argentina and in Spain that they actually told me that, oh yeah, that sounds pretty cool, I'm going to be voting and everything. So franchise has a lot of fans all over the world.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome to hear. And that's what we're loving, because it is, you're right, it's the first internet football team, and we're getting the support we're getting on, one of my favorites, and I know me and Coach are in the forum every day, which we got to get you in there, is the scouting forum, is to see so many people really working together, trying to get players to play football on their team. It's just, you cannot just beat that. It's just a phenomenal experience. I know it has been for me, so.
Yeah, and it's special because you can get involved in a lot of different ways, because, for instance, I'm like 5'7". There's no way I could have ever played football, but there's different stuff you can actually be involved in everything.
Absolutely.
So whether you like that, or whether you were a designer that made the awesome Salt Lake City Screaming Eagles logo, or whether you like statistics, or whatever you gotta do, you can be able to give something else to the sport.
Yeah, you just explained it, Pedro. That was it, brother.
And here's another important element of it, I think, guys, that, you always hear guys are saying, how do I break into coaching? How do I break into scouting? How do I, gain that experience? Because these jobs are hard to come by. Coaching jobs are not easy to get. But this provides people an opportunity to do that. As a fan, to sign up to be a scout, sign up to be an assistant coach. So, it's phenomenal. We're joined back by Ameer. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. Sorry about that. My computer internet went out. I got a backup, though.
Don't
No
worry. Don't worry.
problem. We're good, Coach. We're all good. So let's get back to that question. You were drawing up that defense against that 2x2.
Yeah. So do you want me to actually draw it for you?
Yes.
Yeah,
please.
yeah, that would be phenomenal. Yeah, if you could.
Here we go. I'll draw it for myself, and then I'll put it up on the screen.
Sure, yeah, and then just talk us through it. Talk us through, your responsibilities for your defensive line, linebackers, and defensive backs.
So what happens in this scenario is it's just a switch up. We're trying to put a lot of pressure, number one, but then we're trying to catch the QB off guard. So, like I said before, we've had a lot of situations where it's a great call, and then we just we're unable to make the interception. It's thrown right to our defensive end, our lineman dropping. At the same time, it's still a PBU, and then it keeps the quarterback second guessing. Hey, like, who's dropping? Is the middle linebacker coming? Is he not coming? So with that, we play around with sometimes only one defensive end dropping, sometimes two, and then sometimes none. And we're getting a straight pass rush. The quarterback has nowhere to go. He has less than 2 seconds. That's the operation time that we're going for, is 2 seconds or less for him to get the ball out. So it's either hut, catch, throwing a deep bomb, and in which our DBs are going to be right around. We're all inside leverage. We taught inside leverage. That's the way I was taught. That's the way 80% of touchdowns in this league are post routes. So inside routes. They're not corners. Corners are some of the hardest routes to run because multiple reasons. Number one, not all receivers are okay with going into the wall.
That wall's undefeated, Coach. That wall ain't lost yet.
It never loses. So not all receivers are okay with doing that, so they get scared. Amazing receivers from outdoor, they come to arena and they shrivel. They really it just shows who you're like, man, this guy was just he was playing with the Raiders 2 weeks ago, and he's not even fourth best receiver here. And it's not uncommon to have that in the IFL and indoor football. So we want to force those routes. We want to force those routes for the quarterback to make a perfect pass and for the receiver to be fearless and to go into the walls. Moreover with that is when we switch up from the man to the zone concept, and in which where our Mac is faking like he's blitzing now he's sitting in the middle, picking off those quick hitches in the middle, as well as our corners that are on the stationaries, our jack linebacker and our frontside corner, the bigger bodies on the stationary receivers, are going to pretend like they're man press, and then at the snap of the ball, they get back and drop in zone, and they play the hook to curl the flat. Mm-hmm. And the safety, the two quicker guys, usually against the high motion guys, same thing. We're aligned the same way in man. It's all about the disguise. And then the snap of the ball, they're too deep over the top. So with just those three, without giving every single play, just real quick, those three ways of playing the 2x2 empty set, it takes away a lot. Now, here's what I drew up with the ends, nose, end, and we go safety, backside corner, frontside corner, jack, and Mac. So here's a typical. Can you guys see that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a typical formation 2x2, two high motions with all the guys in the middle, and what we got here is 7x2, 7x2. Guys on the outside are pressed up, and then our inside high motion guys are 7 yards off, 2 yards inside shade to protect the inside leverage. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, that's Mac guy. So I know a lot of the Utah fans, Salt Lake City fans, are used to seeing the arena football where the Mac is up, right? So this is different from that, as we're 5 yards back, and so it's a longer distance to travel. To make sure you guys can see it. Longer distance to travel, but that's why you got to have fast, quick middle linebackers to get to the quarterback in time so that the operation time is messed up offensively. All right, so now here's the look with the ends dropping.
Now, are the safeties man on those high motion?
Yes. Yeah, the safety in the backside corners. So the little S with the money sign is safety. The BC is backside corner. So generally, if it's in the other 2x1 sets, that's how I label them. One goes backside, and the safety's more in the middle of the field. But at all times, the safety and backside corner are our best cover guys and have the quickest feet and fastest guys. They'll be locked up against the high motion guys. Now that will always be game plan dependent in that situation, but for the most part, that's usually the best matchups.
Just an interesting question right here. So it looks like you have both ends dropping, correct?
Yeah, that's
right. So helping out on inside flats or crosses or whatnot. So are you telling me you're still giving the safety in the corner inside leverage when they have inside help from from maybe some type of jam or collision from the ends?
Great question. That's a great question. To start, the ends are by rule. They can't touch the receivers when they're dropping, no matter what. Okay. Even if it's inside the 5 yards, they can't touch them. So that's what in this particular situation, and that was my next point I was going to get to. When we do drop the ends, that's when we start off with the same look, the inside leverage, and now once on the snap of the ball, once they get high motion to it, that's when they go outside leverage, right? That's when they go head up to outside leverage.
Right, protecting the corner out.
Coach, I'm guessing your goal there too is with the tight coverage on the corners and bringing that MAC linebacker, on that pressure and empty, and the quarterback knowing he's got to get rid of the football because you can't pick that up. That A-gap pressure, he's probably going to look to throw hot to one of those interior receivers, and you're going to try to get that defensive end dropped out underneath it. Is that kind of the idea of?
100%, and that's where we've had multiple missed picks, but you count it as PBUs, so it's good.
Sure.
The defensive linemen are like, hey, that's a PBU. I'm like, it's more like a missed opportunity, but hey, good job,
Sure. But you've got that quarterback thinking now, though. You do that, you're bringing that pressure now. He's not sure of his reads. That's very smart,
With that being said, the key in this situation is the defensive ends have to take 2 steps up the field before they drop. All right? It's a quick 2 steps. And we work on it and practice and rep it all the time. But if he does it, if they both just drop out of there, the linemen are going to slide protect and block the middle linebacker, and we're going to get no pressure.
Sure.
So the key is the ends got to get up the field.
He has to get upfield, right.
1, 2, occupy the tackles and guard and make him widen out and give space for the nose to work and the middle linebacker to work and get up the field. And 9 times out of 10, as long as the middle linebacker isn't completely winded and super slow, he's getting pressure, and the quarterback has to get rid of the ball. And now we got inside leverage here, we got man outside leverage here, locked up on the stationaries. He's got nowhere to go with the ball. He usually throws it out of bounds or just throws it up for grabs. And more times than not, in these empty situations.
And on an offensive standpoint, with those high motions, are those receivers on a read route?
Different offenses have different situations in coaching. Some coaches are, hey, you read once you see the middle linebacker going, you got to sit down a little shorter than normal. You got to adjust your route, right? But then I've also seen and heard of multiple coaches, no matter what, they're running a certain route, and without the option of converting it, no matter whether it's man or zone or blitz or no blitz. Right. So obviously, we like the other one, the first one where they don't, no matter what, they're running their same routes, which is perfect. It feeds right into the pressure package that we have in that empty 2x2. But with that being said, a good receiver, which there are multiple good receivers, they're going to read man, they're running full speed, or they read the blitz, they're going to convert the route, they read zone, they're not going to run into the zone, they're going to sit right in the middle and find a hole and find a spot that they're going to be open. So that's just the man situation, without, going super far. I know I kind of extended my time on this, but I get real into the
That's what we want to see, Coach. No, that's what we want to see. That's great.
And then essentially the zone is just where it looks like the same, and we have the sorry, let me write this in. Safety. Safety's over top, deep half, backside corner, deep half, and they line up man right here outside, and then they're playing hook to curl, and then middle, and the middle linebacker. And then this gives the nose a two-way go for pass rush. You know, and then sometimes for the pass rush in the zone, since we're not blitzing the MAC, what we do is we have the nose just tug on the center, and now the ends have a two-way go. They have a two-way go because they're always complaining and asking me for two-way goes and under moves the whole game because all the offensive linemen are jumping out on them, like, hey, give me a two-way go, etc., right? And so the concepts that you're probably looking at this and seeing like, okay, well then that quick hot route is going to be there on the walls, right? That's why we press the stationaries outside because that's the read of the quarterback. He looks at the stationaries, he sees the press, he's like, okay, I can't throw hot. Now snap of the ball, he can't see that anymore. He's got to look at his reads now. We snap of the ball, they bail out, and they play right in between both. And we're wanting them to throw that wall route to the flat because it's a 2-3 yard route. And we're giving that one up, and we're protecting more on the hitch with the middle linebacker and these two guys who are going to be outside leverage on if they did hitches. And then he's sagging off if they run in deep corner or smash routes. He's going to be playing that and helping out with the corner route, but then able to come back to the quick hitch on the outside.
So who's the quarterback reading on that route? If I'm gonna run a 2x2, who is the quarterback reading in this coverage?
Okay, so if this is the case and we're in this coverage, I'll draw. You want a smash route maybe?
There you go.
Hypothetically.
Explain what a smash route is first, by the way.
Okay. Yes. Here I'll draw it up and then I'll explain it. So. So we got two curls on the outside receivers, the 2x2 set, and the two high motion guys are going corner or sails. We call them sails. They're about 10, 12 yards, and the read is the cornerback on the stationary receiver. If he's sagging off, he's taught to throw to the stationary at the smash route quick, so it gives him time to get the ball and get up the field. Now, if he's pressed up, then he's taught to throw the corner route. So that's why we start off pressed up and then sag off. So now he's confused. Should I throw that corner? And we've had multiple picks where our DB has been sagging off and played right underneath that corner route, and the quarterback throws it short.
So the jack is the jack is the quarterback's read in this.
Jack or the front side corner.
Or the fourth side corner, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
So generally they're going to look for, their high motions. That's the goal. Like, in the indoor league, you want to throw it to your high motion, the fastest, quickest guy who has the most momentum going. But the smart teams are going to take what you give them, and they're going to be happy with the 5 yards and continuously march down the field and beat you in different ways. But this allows us to think, with our MAC, he's going to usually take one step up and then get in his zone in the middle of the field and play each hook to curl route and on each side, which they'll either be, here, and he's reading quarterback's eyes, and he's breaking and driving on the ball, coming inside out, and the front side corner and the jack will be coming outside in on those hitch routes if they run hitches in the middle. But here's the smash route. I hope it's you guys can see it. To me, it makes sense, but I know if someone might be looking at it, looks like a bunch of scribbles.
No, you explained it well. To stay on target with this.
Yes.
It is we just score. We're going for a 2-point conversion, and the fans decide a 2-point conversion. What play do you run to win the game?
To win the game.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, no time left. We scored with no time left.
It's a great play, and I've never seen it not work. All right, and what it is it's essentially a triple option play, and with that being said, it's a slight misdirection.
Walk us through it.
Yeah, I'll talk you through it, and I'll kind of draw it up.
Yeah, draw it up, coach, and then walk us through it.
Yep. So here we go. We're at the 2-point conversion, and got the stationary right here. High motion, quarterback, receiver, stationary.
And while you're drawing it, Coach, how much time would you put into repping this play throughout, the week, throughout the season? I mean, how much time would you put into that contingency planning of, hey, guys, this is, if we score and we're going for 2 for the win, this is our play? I mean, do you emphasize that, hey, this is what we are going to run?
This is what we're going to run. And the time that would be spent would be number one, would be on our red zone goal line day. That's usually a day specific of the week, which is generally a Thursday, where we're not necessarily going to be banging it in pads, but we're practicing all our goal line plays offensively, all the other opponent's teams' goal line plays defensively, how to stop their red zone plays in the situations and scenarios that we're going to be in. And then, that's included on the inside the 5-yard line, and then the specific plays that we have that are, maybe some misdirection plays or plays that we don't want to tip our hand off throughout the year, and just specific for these scenarios we want to save for this type of situation. Is these are the plays that we're going to have at least twice a week: the walkthrough the night before, and then the Thursday practice, the red zone practice 2 days before. So at least twice a week, spending at least on average of 10 to 20 minutes on both those plays, depending on the execution of it, because if it's not to the standard of of my liking, then we're gonna have to spend a little bit more time. But if it is, hey, let's get it, let's go, rapid fire, we're gonna have a high intensity, quick, hard-working practices, but then allowing them time for for themselves as well. But we work hard during the 2 hours that we're going to be practicing a day. So here it is right here is I'll draw up quarterback, and so there we go. So this is an empty look. We're running the jet out of the empty with the receivers. We got 2 receivers flooding to the opposite formation, taking taking the DBs, whether they're in man or even in zone. Back hands the ball off to the jet, fakes and holds the end on his side, so continues on with his fake. And then that jet has the option, if he can get in, he gets in. 2 yards, the end didn't tackle him, or the DB didn't come up quick enough, or he was outflanked, whatever the case is. His number one thing is if he's taught when he can get in on the jet, he gets in. Now, somebody comes up, the DB comes up right away, he's got the option to pass it to the dragger coming across, hitting right in the corner of the end zone for the successful 2-point try. So he's got 2 options on that situation, and win the game.
Yeah.
So the jet happens so fast that they have to get to it right away. If they
And who's his read on that, Coach?
the jet that gets the ball.
No, who is the quarterback's read on this?
Okay, that's a good question. I'll show you. There you go. The quarterback's read is the end. So we double team on the nose, and we allow that end to be free. Okay. So there's certain things. The end is froze. He doesn't get up the field. He doesn't attack the quarterback. He doesn't attack the jet. You give the jet. The end jumps out on the he jumps out on the jet. The quarterback that leaves the lane right here. The quarterback has the option to pull and keep and take it in himself. All right. But also, the quarterback, if he keeps, and that's the only one situation where the quarterback would keep, is if the end jumped out wide, right to the jet. Okay, that's the only situation. But the quarterback in that situation as well will also have the option to throw the ball to that dragger coming across the field. If this guy jets out, he keeps it. He stays parallel to the line. If he can get in, he gets in. Again, if a linebacker or a DB is coming up on him, he's got this guy coming dragging in the back of the field, in the back of the end zone. All right. But now, if the end does not jump out to the jet, and he goes straight to the quarterback, easy gives to the jet. All right. He hesitates at all, give to the jet. The key is that end, and not all ends can make that play on the jet anyway. So that's going to be something that's specific to the team that we're playing against. Hey, they got a slow end. No matter what he does, he's not getting to the jet. Just give it. Or he's got a very athletic, end, and he can jump out there and make lots of plays and disrupt some stuff. Then we'll game plan to that situation. And then if that's the case, if he's that good of a defensive end, we'll run to the other side. And that's.
Are you worried at all, Coach, about, because I know you're a defensive guy, what I would tell my defense in that situation, 2-point conversion, to win the game, to hold that, jam up the receivers, hold them up, make them call pass interference, make them call defensive holding, because refs in that situation a lot of times are not going to throw that flag. You're not going to get that. Short of tackling somebody on the ground. 100%. Or are you worried about that backside receiver being able to fight through that jam at the line of scrimmage and through the linebacker level and all that to get across for that second option? Does that worry you at all on that play?
Yeah, well, that's a good point in terms of what would be dependent on is if he's pressed up or if he's sagging back. And in this situation, I'm thinking if they're going to be more in a zone situation. All right. Okay. But this is, again, if it's something that, what we can do, if it's not zone and they're running man and they're pressed and that guy isn't letting them off the line of scrimmage, obviously that eliminates that option. What we'll do is.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Coach, because that jet's going to be on that so quick, with that, you know what I mean? And
yep. So then what we'll do is we'll put that guy in high motion instead of stationary.
There you go. Yep.
And then he's going to free release either outside or inside. By the time the jet gets it or the quarterback has his read, then he's going to be able to get across the field with no even with a jam, he'll still be able to get to his.
Sure. That's a great adjustment. Thanks, Coach. Yep. Thank you.
Great adjustment, Coach. Hey, we're gonna pass you to Pedro. He is our voice of the fans, Coach. He's got questions from the fans, and I'm gonna let him take over right now.
Love it.
Hello, Coach.
What's up, Pedro? How you doing, man?
Fine, thanks. Well, I'm here in Mexico City. I'm the guy that's gonna bring the voice of the fans to you. Are you ready?
I love it. Glad to have you, man.
Okay, so as you know, there's a lot of decisions that's going to be taken up by the fans. Does this level of fan engagement scare you as a head coach?
So in terms of the decision making,
yeah.
It doesn't worry me to the point where I'm gonna lose all control of what I want to do in my game plan and things of that nature. I think it's a great opportunity for the fan interaction and engagement in the game, because so many fans are so involved in, indoor and arena football. It's already much more interactive of a sport than even outdoor football. If you go to an indoor football game or arena football game, the fans are down. They're right next to the players. They're talking to them. They can touch them. They're talking to the coaches. They got all sorts of promotion events going on. It's really a great entertainment game because it's so interactive. For young kids, for adults, for everyone, you really get a good. You get your price of admission. So to answer your question, no, it doesn't. I trust the fans in making the right decisions, and that's part on me. I got to educate and help educate my fans on being together, having the same vision as me, and that hopefully the fans, if I'm selected, that we will have that same vision, and they will entrust in me to know what's best, and I will entrust in them to, hey, maybe we should do this, something else, this isn't working, we got to try this, and I'm very open to that.
And what kind of challenges do you think you're going to have with an expansion team?
Well, the main challenge is number one off the top of my head would be, just getting the recruitment, right? To sell the same vision and the market of being in Salt Lake City and having a new team in there is something that's, you're going to have to work hard to get, the name of the Screaming Eagles out there. Hey, this is going to be a premier location for the players. This is going to be premier football. This is going to be a high level of football. So number one is just getting everyone on board and getting the players and coaches, everyone that you need to be successful in that organization. But I definitely think it's very doable. I was able to help with Spokane this past year, being an expansion team, changing from a different league, and it's a different market, different rules, and we had to work really hard to get our name out there because there's already established teams and programs that are successful. So we have to work that much harder to get our name out there and to promote ourselves as being one of the best, fan bases, being one of the best areas and arenas. And the most conducive for players to come in and be successful, and I think it's gonna take some patience, some hard work, and winning some ball games, and then it will work out great.
So how about the way you talk to your players? Take us to the locker room. What is something that you will absolutely not allow to happen in the locker room?
What I don't stand for, especially on my defense, but as being a head coach on my team is the body language and the bickering, and by bickering, I mean attacking each other. They like a lot of times when things aren't going right, players like to point fingers, and that's one thing I don't tolerate. That's one thing I school them on from day one, and one thing that I stay on them about is three things. You got your body language, your attitude, and your effort have got to be A1 Class A, because those are the things that you can control, and those are the things that I want that are going to bring good character guys into the locker room, and that's the thing that's going to build a great family and build a successful program and team.
How about you as a person? Who would you say are your role models on and off the field?
Okay, so now I'll start off backwards. Off the field, my mom, she came here from Egypt, and I'm first generation, and she worked very hard, worked about 3-4 jobs, and got her degree at Michigan State University in veterinary medicine. And she, she works and she lives for her family and her kids. The most selfless human being I know, and I know a lot of people say, "Hey, my mom is the best mom in the world," and I'm going to repeat the same thing because I feel the same thing. I think that my mom is the best mom in the world. She works so hard. She never missed a game growing up. She even drove from New York when she lived in New York to come watch my football games at Western Michigan and playing professionally. My mom and my grandma both there with me, and most selfless, hardworking people, and she motivates me every day because to do what she did and to come here and to be a very successful veterinarian with with a master's degree and get to the level that she got to, being a circuit supervisor in the state of Illinois. I'm so proud of her, and she's an inspiration to me every day. On the field, I look up to guys that do things the right way, that don't take opportunities for granted, like J.J. Watt, it's one of the guys that I really look at as a player, being an ex-player, and he's just a stand-up guy, an honest individual, very hardworking. He wants to be the best, and that's the same qualities that I had as a player and the same qualities I have as a coach. My determination to be the best coach that I can be and find new and better ways to work harder than the competition, and I see that in him. And if you were talking about a coach, I respect Bill Belichick. Maybe his stuff. I'm not a Patriots fan, but it's hard not to respect him because just year in and year out, he's very successful, and he finds players that are great football players. He's not a coach that looks at just numbers on a piece of paper and thinks that that's going to be a good football player. He runs a 4.4 40. He bench presses 400 pounds, which are all great positives to have. But I've had those, I've seen those players come into camps too, and they get hit in the mouth, and they're not so good, and they're not so good after that. And there was a quote from a boxer, that he used to say, everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth, and that could be with coaches and players. Everyone's got a great plan. You might sound good, look good, feel good, but until you get hit in the mouth, everything changes after that. So, hope that answered your question.
Yeah. So you've talked about how do you manage yourself, how you manage your players, how you manage the fans. Take us to the night before a big game. What do you do to calm those nerves down?
Me personally, what I do is I go and I get a workout. I work out. I get that adrenaline rushing, get it going, go for a run. Lift some iron, get some steam off. And after that, I usually sit in the steam room. I put some oils that's going to relax me a little bit and then stretch out a little bit and just ease my mind, and that helps me get myself prepared. And then once I get home, I'm way more relaxed, and then I review the tendencies of the other coaches and the teams, and I'm watching little things that I might pick up on last minute that's going to give me an edge in the game the night before. But realistically, most coaches, you don't sleep the night before big games. You're too anxious, you're too excited about what's to come, and hopefully your plan is going to be in execution. But on top of that, not just only for myself, I'm very interactive with my players, so I want to hold my players accountable nights before big games. So I'm going to send them messages. I'm going to send them some motivating quotes. I'm going to maybe stop by. Hey, here's some electrolytes. Make sure you're drinking enough water. I'm going to do anything I possibly can, anything that my players and my staff need to feel good about the game coming at hand. I do, and whatever I can do to help is something that I feel like is going to give us an edge as a team.
Well, that's a lot of fans that are going to be really happy to hear you say everything that.
Thanks, Pedro. I appreciate it, man. It's a pleasure to have you.
Coach, I'm going to let you close it out. I'm going to let you say sincerely whatever you want to say to the fans, to our organization, and I just give you the floor to it, partner.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to interview. I can't say enough how excited I am to potentially be a head coach of the Screaming Eagles, and I think I would be the best candidate, and I'd be an answer to being and leading the team to a successful franchise, along with the fans and being interactive. My my personal ability and being a good face in front of the community. I feel like amongst out of all the other candidates, I'm currently involved successfully in the IFL right now. So that's something that we just got back from a championship. I'm hungry to win the championship. We lost in the championship game, so I still got I got a schedule right here. I got set. This is my schedule, day-to-day schedule that I have set for next year every day. This is training camp. This is practice. This is treatment. This is everything set. I'm already planning, to be a head coach and to be, for everything that's going to come our way. And, some of that's going to be a little bit changing here and there, for availabilities, for facilities and whatnot. But, hey, you can never be too prepared with that situation. Another thing that I bring is my player network. I'm going to bring the best players in this league and outside of this league. I was able to coach, 4 or 5 guys that were all league this year and in the past as well, every year. And I can bring some of the top talent in the league here that will follow me and play for me. And because they know I'm also going to go to bat for my players. I bring in guys that I think they're going to and want to play at the next level. Those are generally the best players in this league, in the indoor league and arena football league, is guys that want to play at the next level, not guys that are just, are happy to just get on the field. Guys that are hungry, that are wanting to get better, and that's what I can bring with my network in college football, my network professionally, as a player and as a coach. I have multiple agents' contacts, multiple coaches' contacts, and that all respond to me in a timely manner that I'm able to recruit better than anyone, out there. And not only that, it's IFL is different than the AFL. So, I know it's going to be, for me, it's not an adjustment. I know the rules. I got the playbooks, offensive playbook, defensive playbook, all the plays that every single team has ran last year, and how to stop it. And not all the coaches have been involved in the indoor, or if they were in arena, it's a completely different game. And fans got to understand that the transition from one league, arena football league, to the next is an adjustment. And for me, I will create instant success because it's shown in my track record, as well as sustainable success. So just hope the fans understand that, and think that I'm the best qualified candidate. And I appreciate this opportunity once again. And anything I can do and answer any questions, you can find me on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. I'm more than willing to answer any questions from the fans, from you guys as the ownership, and anyone else that wants to talk to me. I'm available. Thanks again.
Thanks, Coach. And on behalf of our entire team at Project Franchise and the Salt Lake Screaming Eagles, we want to thank you for being a part of this process. Fans, if you want to vote for Coach Ismail, you'll be able to do that beginning tomorrow at saltlakescreamingeagles.com. Again, thank you very much, Coach, and we wish you best of luck in this process.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, take care.